Hey you guys, this is Tired Goth, and I'm doing a quick spiritualist blurb. Um, how do I begin this, right? I feel like there are a lot of parallels between science and spirituality that have not necessarily touched down to one another that I would like to cover with you in this brief video here. So, the first thing that I would like to cover is classic textbook illnesses that manifest as, schizotypal diseases, schizophrenia, mental illnesses, bipolar disorder, borderline disorder, whatever the case is, right? Disorders that, by textbook definition, are actually quite rare and could be easily mistaken for something else. We're also including in this particular category situations like autistic spectrum disorders, and I don't call them disorders, like they're just autistic spectrum presences, resonances, habits, right? These are conditions that obviously impact our behavior, our minds, our mindsets, our tendencies, right? But a lot of these tendencies are actually very commonly misdiagnosed, and you wouldn't really know that unless you had already worked in the healthcare field or had some inkling that, doctors and, pharmaceutical, I guess you could say, producers are working hand in hand to over-distribute medicine for conditions that don't necessarily really exist. So that's one situation that we're dealing with. But we're also dealing with the fact that in a relatively godless society that has developed in the last 60 years of self-searching, soul-seeking, whatever you'd like to call it, there has been an abandonment of faith that has actually led us away from some really common solutions or identifications of the actual issues at hand that could actually have spiritual undertones and spiritual impacts in the natures of what is actually going on here. We're talking about people who are probably experiencing low-level possessions. Yes, I said it. We're talking about spiritual issues being misdiagnosed as medical conditions. It is entirely likely that a lot of the people who are misdiagnosed with illnesses are actually suffering spiritual illnesses and not physical illnesses. And the reason why it's so important to talk about this in this day and age is because people are just now returning to prayer, to meditation, to holistic healing methods, and abandoning what was considered to be more common practices of healing and treatment. Now, a lot of doctors would probably feel threatened by this because they would write this off as something nonsensical. But a lot of doctors also smoke cigarettes and drink very heavily. So everyone's a hypocrite. I'm just gonna be the one there to dial that in, right? Fax it if you need to, right? But my whole thing is, if you are not up on your spiritual game and have no idea what could really be happening to you or your loved ones, if you start feeling especially erratic or disconnected from your reality, you're starting to feel out of your own body and you can't really identify where it's coming from because it's clearly not coming from you or anything that you actually feel at any point during your day without some sort of external pressure or influence on you, you might want to consider looking into spiritual-based therapy, because you might be dealing with someone trying to hex you, possess you, or otherwise use your essence and your life force as a steering wheel for something that they want done, that they won't use their own energy for. So I wanted to make this quick video to kind of put this out into the ether and see what comes back. And mind you, this post is protected. I am spiritually protected. There's no need to force a test to see if that's true. I come with love and I come with peace in my heart, but I am going to tell you the truth and I am going to serve you some of the strongest tea that you've ever had. So I hope you enjoyed this post. Stay tuned for more content. This has been Tired Goth. Be sure to follow me on YouTube. Don't forget to do that. Be sure to interact with this post, like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on TikTok. If you have my address, it's tired.g0th. That's my @ and yes, G7. Follow for follow, okay? So if you interact with my posts, I will interact back. Thank you so much also for your likes, your attention, for everything that you've done to boost my posts, and for all of your follows, and your messages and stickers as well. So I just wanted to say thank you for tuning into the post, and stay tuned for more very out there content. I'll see you guys later. Bye.